Good evening and thank you for joining us here at News Press Now. I'm Riley Funk. We're going to start your news off tonight with a special report. The landscape of professional golf changed abruptly on Tuesday, and a PGA Tour pro from Northwest Missouri finds himself right in the middle of it. The PGA Tour, DP World Tour, and Saudi Arabia's PIF, also known as the Public Investment Fund, which includes golf-related assets like Live Golf, came to an agreement to unify the game under one umbrella after previously existing as separate entities. The decision marks the end of litigation and lawsuits between the tours. However, some don't see the merger as a good thing. The debate stems from controversy involving Saudi Arabia, including the alleged Saudi-backed killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi in 2018, and family members of victims who blame Saudi Arabia for the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Bryce Garnett, who is born in Gallatin, Missouri, and also an alumni of Missouri Western State University, spoke with News Press Now on the state of the professional game.
It was wild. I was playing a practice round. I was on the ninth hole, got a few texts of articles from some of my buddies. And really thought it was, just some crazy website making a crazy story.
That crazy story turned into a reality of shock for the former Griffin player.
As things went on, you start hearing the buzz around the club here, and it was true. And I think everybody kind of went into panic mode and disbelief. I think there was some level of betrayal that everybody felt.
The feeling was mutual between players on site at the RBC Canadian Open in Toronto.
We just need more information. I think that hopefully our leaders are working in our best interest, and I think they are. I think it's a very trying time for everybody involved with the tour, players and leadership alike.
Garnett sits with many of his fellow pros on the PGA Tour Advisory Council in 2023. The entity reports on the state of the tour for all of its members to the player directors. One of the players that Garnett reports to is Rory McIlroy, who has been very outspoken against Live Golf. McIlroy made comments during his media time on Wednesday about his frustration, as he and many others were backing the PGA Tour while lawsuits and controversy surrounded the sport.
It's hard for me to not sit up here and feel somewhat like a sacrificial lamb and, feeling like I've put myself out there and this is what happens.
Garnett says that McIlroy has taken on a huge leadership role for all the players.
I feel like Rory has maybe stepped out of his boundaries a little bit at times, but at the same time, he's been a leader for us. He's carried a lot of weight on his shoulders the last 2 years.
The leadership of Commissioner Jay Monahan has been called into question during this process. In Toronto, a players-only meeting was set up for the commissioner to talk to players and answer their questions on Tuesday afternoon. Garnett says his belief in Monahan has been swayed both ways.
When you start messing and changing with guys' livelihood and their jobs potentially, it's always going to be an emotional discussion.
One of the biggest questions players and fans are asking is, will Live Golf players be able to compete in future PGA Tour events? The answer is currently unknown. Past comments from Monahan state those who would try and return to play on the PGA Tour would be met with sanctions, fines, and possible suspensions. Garnett thinks that Monahan will stay true to his word on that front.
I think that's one way that he's going to have to somehow, kind of win this membership back and potentially upholding some of those regulations and suspensions.
Players that left the PGA Tour to join Live Golf include Brooks Koepka, Phil Mickelson, and Dustin Johnson. Garnett was never approached by Live Golf, which is a decision he is glad he never had to contemplate.
I'm extremely happy with the PGA Tour. It's something that I've always dreamed of playing on, and it's something I look forward to playing on for a few more years.
While the deal was announced, there are still many details that need to be discussed as the game moves forward. The hope of bringing in the PIF to work with the PGA Tour is to bring in more financial assets to grow the game. With past controversies surrounding those involved with the PIF, there is much skepticism among the players.
I think it's a scary time for everybody in professional golf, but quite possibly could be the most exciting time with the money that will be coming into pro golf and just golf in general.
Amid the drastic changes to the professional game of golf, Garnett has goals of his own as he looks to play a full schedule this summer with his game rounding into form. Even on the highest stage in his sport, he never forgets where he came from.
I can't thank everybody there enough for always being behind a little small town Missouri boy and pushing me to continue to kind of tackle the big guys out here.
Reporting for News Press Now, I'm Riley Funk.